Hello, this is Alex Calvo-Garcia. You're listening to the Iron Hour podcast.
Good evening, Iron fans, or good morning, or good afternoon. Whatever time you're listening to this, whatever time you're watching, thank you very much for tuning into another episode of the Iron Hour podcast. I'm joined by two of our usual panel. Barrett is away working. Apparently he's got bills to pay. How disappointing, which means that you're stuck with myself as host, Max Bell, but I'm very, very happy to say that I'm joined by the fabulous Becky. How are you, Becky?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. I'm all the better for seeing yourself and also the real people's princess, Gareth, Iron Army, YouTube sensation, professional shithouser. How you doing, Gaz?
I'm doing really well, thank you. Thank you for that.
Excellent, excellent. So before we crack on into the main podcast, I want to mention that I want to thank our sponsors, Best Blanks Wholesale, all that they do, and one very special thing that they do. Gareth, if you want to stand up, stretch out.
I'll lower down. Can you see that?
Look at that T-shirt, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between. Scunny away, ole, ole, feet. It's all you need. All you need to know.
When are they on sale?
Pardon?
When are they on sale?
When Sainsbury's accept them.
Come on, Sainsbury's, get your act together. Excellent T-shirt. I love it, and hope to see it at a Scunny game soon. Right. Speaking of Scunny game, let's crack on. Let's review Tuesday night's entertainment. Gareth, first 13 minutes, I think it was. 3 great chances for the Iron. Didn't we start well?
We did start well, yeah, really well. And it's what you want to see in a game like that you get on the front foot, create the chances, but you want to put those chances away as well when you're creating them. That's always the downside for me. We always go into games start really well, and you'd want something from it because you know it's going to come back and bite you. And if you get an early goal, that means that Curzon have to be a bit quicker with the throw-ins, the goal kicks, not waste as much time. But yeah, no, it was a good start. You know, we had created plenty of chances, got the ball down well, but we just didn't have that end product.
Yeah, and obviously we mentioned there about the chances. There was Whitehall at the near post. We were attacking the Donny Road end, and there was Coogan at the back post as well, who did a complete almost an air shot, really. But sadly, we didn't take any of those chances. Then Becky, fast forward to later on in the first half when there was a goal, but sadly it was for the side in pink rather than claret and blue. Were you fearing the worst when Curzon got in front?
I think my heart sinks a little bit whenever we concede. But we've had some games where we've conceded and we've just given up straight away. We've thrown the towel in. But then there's been other games where we've been very consistent. We've put our heads up and we've fought for the point or fought for the 3 points. And if you would ask me that question maybe 2 months ago, I would have said I would fear the worst. I thought another goal or two would come in. We're going to concede again. However, I was optimistic that we would knuckle down and get something out of the game. So I wasn't as fearful as I was a couple of months ago.
That's good. So Gareth, Becky's there mentioned that she was still relatively optimistic. And I was there on Tuesday night on the Donny Road end, and my optimism took a bit of a hit after Curzon won the toss and changed ends. I always fear the worst when we're needing a goal in the second half, but we're attacking the railway end, particularly when there's only, I think it was 26 Curzon fans into them. So yeah, took a bit of a wind of our sails maybe. When we were pushing at the end, when there was a bit of huffing and puffing, did you really think that equaliser was coming? Could you smell a Scunthorpe goal?
No. I clipped a bit out my vlog, saying as much as I'd like a goal with about 5 minutes left, I just can't see it coming. So I clipped that out, left it. Because
we
obviously
don't need
the goal
that negativity.
But going back to the first half as well, there was that great save by Fitzsimmons as well with strong, left hand. And also their keeper as well put off some great saves in that first half, a double save as well. So it could have been, there could have been more goals in that first half had it not been for the keepers. But yeah, going back to the second half, and I felt that we started the second half as we left the first half, really strong, but it just wasn't to be again. And the Curzon are a good team. Buckley Ricketts on the left hand side causing massive problems. He hit the post as well. Inside of the post, it came back out across goal.
I have to say, I was stood because I stand quite near that left-hand post. Honestly, thought it was in.
Yeah,
he caused Rose.
Yeah,
so many problems that night. I know Rose wasn't helped by the pitch at some point, but yeah, the little number 7, as you say, Buckley Ricketts on the left-hand side for Curzon. He looks a proper player against us on Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say it was at Warrington last season, was it? And he came on there, and I thought he looked all right, but he stepped up a level for me. He looks a lot better with another season behind him.
Yeah, if he's look, I know wingers can be a bit temperamental, but if he's playing like that, 30 games out of 46, never mind 46 games out of 46, he won't be in this league long.
No, definitely not. And we go on about the pitch all the time at Scunthorpe, and if that was him performing like that on that pitch, you'd imagine what it's like being a carpet. So
made it look like a snooker table at times.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's a very, very good point. But obviously, our own winger, Fadera, came up trumps in the 92nd minute. I want to say, Becky. There was quite a bit of chat with Iron fans after the game, certainly in the old farmhouse, saying that they think he should start on Saturday. What do you think? Do you think Fadera will he come off the bench again, or will he start?
I think we should start him. I think we should knight him. We should give him a knighthood. We should name a stand after the dude because he has saved our asses twice. That's what I believe. I do absolutely think we should start him. He has proven that he really wants game time. He's proven that he can play quite well. I think it's the right time to actually try something new. I think he's proven. Yeah, I think he should start. And if he doesn't, he's a game changer, and that's what we desperately need. Whitehall is also a game changer. So with him gone, we need someone else to change the game and actually look at 10 steps forward instead of what's in front of them now. So I do believe that he should start, yeah. I'd be quite disappointed if he doesn't.
Yeah, and you mentioned Whitehall there. I suspect we'll come on to discuss that later. Obviously, he went off injured on Tuesday night, and Beck came on to in his stead. Now Gareth, obviously, Becky's a different type of player to Whitehall. He's a proper target man. He's a little bit slow. He's slow. He's 6'6". When Beck plays, do you think we need to change our style of play more? And did we do that enough for long periods on Tuesday?
I think when Beck plays, he's a target man. It gets pumped up to him, which is an easy option. When you're at the back, you just think, just launch it forward. Beck's there. He'll get his head on it. And in all fairness to him, he did get his head on it. But for me, there was no one close enough for those flick-ons. He needed somebody closer to him, running off him. I know Robert's got a bit annoyed at times with the flick-ons, but for me, he weren't close enough either. So it's all right getting annoyed, but you've got to do your bit and get closer to him and know that he's going to win that header and anticipate him winning that header so you can run onto it. And he also, in all fairness to him, he had a bit of good footwork as well later on in the game. He did hold it up a little bit, but I think the crossing against the Curzon, the crosses into the box weren't great. So I think, if we change our style of play for Beck, which inevitably we do, we can't play it into his feet. He's not going to hold it up and the same as Whitehall does. So I think if we can get the ball out onto the wing and get some decent crosses in that clear the front post or just stay on the pitch, then it will help massively because he's got his head and shoulders above everyone else, really.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if he can get some decent service for his head and attack the ball, then that will help us. But I know he gets a lot of derogatory remarks on socials and whatever because people see him as he's not good enough, he's this, he's that. But you've got to give him the balls as well. You've got to give him the service. So yeah. But I think if we get that service to him and he can attack the ball, then hopefully he'll score.
And I would just add two things to that. Really, the first is obviously he is a target man. You know, Steve Torpey never played up front on his own in his life because they knew that if you've got a big target man, same with John Gove, you've got to get bodies in and around them.
Yeah,
you've got to play the strengths that you have when you've got a big 6'5", 6'6", potentially quite stocky target man up there. Otherwise, you know, you're trying to fit square pegs into round holes. And just on the crossing as well, you mentioned, Gareth. I was walking to the pub at full time and I was absolutely furious with, I think it was Luke Williams, the corner in the 95th minute. That you're just begging. You're thinking, oh my God, one good ball in and we burgle this. An absolute scuffer, cleared at the front post. That's so frustrating. So frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
I find a lot of games frustrating at the moment. However, saying that, I've always been a preacher of a win's a win or a draw, a point's a point. It doesn't have to be pretty. And Tamworth last season wasn't a very pretty season, but they got the job done. They dug deep. They did what they had to do. And if that gets us up this season, then who are we to complain? But I think a point against Curzon Ashton was quite good to say how we conceded.
Yeah, and obviously, just to build on that, Gareth, despite the frustrations of the corner, you know, it was a good atmosphere at full time. People were very pleased. You know, a good equaliser. One thing I noticed at full time as well was that Ross Barrows came out onto the pitch, you know, telling all his teammates, "Well done." It was really good to see Ross back in and around the club and the team, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, he's been out a few times actually since his injury. You know, he's down the tunnel, comes out. Also, as well, speaking of injured players, Danny White always in the tunnel as well, just congratulating the players as they came off the pitch, which was good to see. He had a knee brace on, which isn't good to see, but you know, that's football. You do get injuries. So no, it was just nice that the whole team came out, and you know, when that goal went in as well, I think it was Clunan, Kelly and Scales all leapt off the bench. Bit of fist pumping on the pitch and what have you, and then giving it some to the Curzon bench as well, which is, you know, always want to see that, don't you? And I might have just given away one of my idiot hero moments there.
No, we'll get to that.
Who cares? So no, it was just like you say, it was a good thing at full time, but at half time, from where I was stood, I don't know. Obviously, you were in the Dramax. Was there any boos and jeers?
At half time, there was a couple.
I thought I heard. Yeah,
there wasn't a lot. But there was a couple. It was more born out of frustration, I think, because I actually thought that after Curzon scored was probably our worst period in the game.
Yeah, it was.
There was that 10 minutes when we did have a bit of a wobble. You know, we weren't winning possession. Curzon threatening us on the break. But honestly, I think what Becky said was bang on. Is a point's a point.
Yeah.
If we'd have spoken before Saturday and somebody had offered us 4 points and the other results been pretty friendly, I think we'd have taken that.
Yeah.
Right, so obviously there we talked about some celebrations. Just also a point of note in terms of Ross Barrows. We're recording this on Thursday night. Our understanding is that his operation was on Wednesday. So from everybody here at the podcast, and I'm sure everybody listening as well, fingers crossed for Ross, and that his operation went as well as these things can do, and that his recovery goes as well as possible. So hope to see Ross back soon and fighting fit. Right. One last thing before we get to Spy in the Camp. Some news announced earlier today on our day of recording about Brad Nicholson leaving. Obviously, he hasn't been involved in the squad for a while, but was very, very involved at the start of the season. Were you a little bit surprised by the news, Becky?
Honestly, no, because it was the worst kept secret in history. I mean, Nicholson has been here, there, and everywhere. I heard he was going to France at one point and Madrid the next. You know, all these Chinese whispers. But that's the thing with our fan group. There is a lot of Chinese whispers. Look, I'm not massively heartbroken that he's gone. Like, I'm not devastated. However, I do feel like we hadn't got the best of him yet, and he had a lot more to show. So maybe he just wasn't happy here. I'm not sure, or maybe there was something behind the scenes that they didn't mingle, they didn't fit each other's wants and desires, I guess. But I'm not heartbroken or shocked. I'm a little bit disappointed because I do feel like we could have got a lot more out of him.
Yeah, and I do love a good long throw. I've waited 20 years for somebody who could properly chuck it into the box. But as you say, Becky, obviously I don't. Rumours and people aren't idiots. Nicholson hadn't been in the squad for a long time. Gareth, everybody talks to you. Everybody tells you their secrets. Were you surprised by the news?
No, because everybody tells me the secret. No, I just think, I'd have been more shocked if someone like Roberts had gone, obviously. But no, he's been out of the squad for so long now. You've seen him warming up before games, running round. He's not even in the squad. He's just been on the pitch running round, getting a bit of fitness in. So, no, it's not really come as a shock at all. I just think with the way we've changed as well, our style, four at the back, you could say we're surplus to requirements with Evans as well, just being there. We've got Rose that's come in that can do a job in the centre as well if needed be. So I just think he was down the pecking order. And for him, it's going to be frustrating just watching people week in, week out playing, thinking, well, I could be doing that. I could be doing that. So, of course, he's going to want to be playing football. And the fact that he's moved on back to Boston makes sense. He knows what they're about. They know what he's about. So, good luck to him. And hopefully he gets some minutes this season. And, he does well for them. But, fair play to him, You've got to move on sometimes and enhance your career. And, he came, it didn't work. And, thank you for what you've done. But,
Very well put there, Gareth. Very well put. Right, moving swiftly on. Let's go to our usual segment at this moment, our Spy in the Camp.
Barry here, and I'm joined this week by Lias from Scarborough Athletic. You're obviously a Scarborough fan. I think it's your second time on the podcast, so thank you for joining us. How you doing, bud?
I'm all right, mate, yeah. Second time, hey, regular.
Well, listen, mate, we only get quality on this podcast. It has to be said. Well, let's kick off. Mixed fortunes this season for Scarborough. The recent defeat at the weekend at home to Alfreton, and things got off to a terrible start from the off. 1-0 down inside 2 minutes.
Yeah, and certainly what you don't want against Alfreton, is it? Going down early doors, they don't concede that many, and their style of football, it's quite hard to break them down sometimes, isn't it? So not ideal.
Looking at the league table, I mean, you're all the way down in 16th. I say all the way down. I'm not trying to offend you, but I would have expected Scarborough to be a little bit higher when we did our pre-season predictions. Most of us had Scarborough in and around the playoffs. How disappointing has it been?
Yeah, it's obviously disappointing, but as most squads get, we've only got a small squad, and injuries have ravaged us. Like even on Saturday, we only had 3 on the bench, so it's just not ideal. Got so many players out. Like Maloney scored against you last season's out. Franks broke his toes. Bailey Good has been out for months. So it's not been easy with a small squad, and trying to get people in is not always easy as well, as John has said many a time. So I think that's played its part over the season. But mid-table, I don't think we're in any danger of falling much lower. But that'll do for another season and consolidation, and then we go again next year.
When we think of Scarborough, we often think of John Owen. Came under a lot of criticism earlier on in the season, but obviously recently signed that contract extension. How did that go down with the fans?
Yeah, I think most fans were happy. You always get the odd one, don't you? Like you guys know, I don't agree with the manager, but
it's usually Marco, to be honest with you, mate.
But he's got plenty, as I always say, plenty of credit in the bank from what he's done for this club already. So it'd have to be something drastic for us to be getting rid of him. Just the amount of people that would want to come and play under him with his track record. So it's got to be a positive. And now he's committed long term, as the chairman said the other day. It's so much easier to plan for next season when they know who the manager is going forward. So that can only help as well, really.
Couple of standout players. Let's kick off with the goalkeeper. Ryan Whiteley always seems to perform at his absolute best whenever he comes up against Scunthorpe United. We certainly see a very good goalkeeper. How important is he to the way you guys play?
Yeah, he's been fantastic. He's been with the club a couple of times and then got released by York and we got him in. But I think he's far and away too good for this level, realistically. So I'm quite happy to have him. Safe pair of hands. So yeah.
Another player that stands out, the opposite end of the field, is Dom Terre. Obviously scored against us earlier on in the season. Dom Terre, I'm not quite sure, but he scored a hat-trick as well on the opening day of the season. 3 fantastic goals against Radcliffe, and I guess he's a player that we need to keep quiet, right?
Yeah, fantastic. He's been kicked on this year. He was sort of hampered last year with a lot of injuries, so he didn't get a full pre-season, so didn't really get that many last year, but he's already scored more this season, and he's always there or thereabouts, as a knack, like a poacher should have, getting right place, right time, like the goal against you. Stormed in at the far post, tap it in from 2 yards out. That's what you need, isn't it? Someone arriving. So yeah, he's good at that.
Are you surprised you've been able to keep hold of him?
Yeah, I don't. It's unusual, isn't it? But yeah, there's a lot of players you think that perform well for us, and clubs haven't come in for them. I guess they're happy where they are. We see a lot of it playing under Jono, playing at the club. They always say how much they enjoy it. So I guess playing regularly with somewhere you enjoy might be better than taking a chance in full time football where you might not work. Like we had a player that went to Fylde at the beginning of last season, didn't work out for him, and he's come back. So full time football didn't work for him. So maybe they just like the security of the part-time game, maybe.
Well, one player that it didn't really work out for at Scunny was Richie Bennett. Bit of a different story at Scarborough, it has to be said. He's not a prolific goal scorer. I don't think anyone would pretend he is, but a pretty steady away player for you guys.
Yeah, he's 110% every week. You can see it from him. He's always grafting. He's certainly a team player. Yeah, maybe he doesn't get the goals that everyone would hope he would get, but you can never fault his effort. That's as simple as that, really.
Another ex-Scunthorpe player is obviously Cam Wilson. Now, he's found opportunities few and far between this season. Has it surprised you how much it's not really clicked for him?
Possibly, but when you got like Dom playing out wide, who's scored as many goals as he has, it's pretty hard to drop him, isn't it? Play both similar sort of positions out wide. So, yeah, when he's had opportunities, unfortunately, he's probably not grasped them with both hands. So it's hard to drop someone that's playing so well and give him the minutes, sadly. Even with being so injury ravaged, you'd think he'd have got a bit more minutes, but it doesn't seem to have worked out for him just yet. But there's still time. There's, a third of the season to go. Who knows? If he has a good finish, we might see him again next season, hopefully.
Just looking at transfer market, that's where I tend to go for stats. He has made a few appearances for you this season. He's made 22, but it looks like maybe only 1 or 2 starts, 3 starts, maybe tops. So it's not going fantastic for him. Would you expect to see him involved in the squad on Saturday?
Well, yeah, we only had 3 subs a weekend, unless we've got some secret transfer business. Yeah, we don't even have enough to fill the bench, so I would hope he would be included, yes, put it that way.
That's fair enough. So when we look ahead to the rest of the season, then, what would your expectations be for where you think you might finish?
I think just get to 50 points as soon as we can, which is sort of the magic number, isn't it? Sooner we get to that, eases a bit of pressure, doesn't it? And then who knows how many games are left. I think if we finish anywhere between sort of 10th and 14th, that's sort of safe in the middle. It's consolidating for another year, and it's similar to last season. And then, I said go again next season and see what will be.
And when we played earlier on in the season, I think you were well deserving of your 3 points, definitely. Great performance. I wouldn't say that you got 10 men behind the ball and looked to make things necessarily difficult. Do you think we might see a different tactic this time around, though?
I don't think, if I'm honest, that's Jono's style. When we came to you last year, I think watching it back, we didn't come and sit 4-5-1 or anything silly like that. We try and get on the ball. We've got creative players. I just don't think it's the way he played football. Like people say about Butler with you, he's a centre back. He'll always be a defender. He's got that negativity. Jono wasn't. Well, he's more creative midfielder. He likes people to get on the ball. So I just don't think he's got it in him. Just even when we went to Burton in the FA Cup, we didn't sit like 10 men behind the ball and try and soak it up. We had a good go, so yeah, why not? It's there to be won, and we can't defend, so let's go forward and try and score some goals. Let's put it that way. So what's the point in trying to soak it up? We're not going to keep many clean sheets, as you can probably see. So yeah, let's try and get a goal or 2 at least.
I know Marco is usually quite synonymous with the phrase, we'll go through you, we'll smash it. What's your reply to Marco? What do you think the score is going to be this weekend?
As I said, I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. We don't keep many clean sheets, as you can see. But then we do score a fair few in recent weeks. We've been banging them in, and I said Dom's always lively. So I'll go. I'll be happy. I'll be there. I'll take a Desmond 2-2. That'll do for me. That'll be a good outcome.
So because I'm not on the podcast this week, this is my only kind of input. I'll chuck my prediction in there. So I think we'll just nick it. I'll go 2-1 Scunny.
You would say that though.
Right, there we go. Another Spina Camp. Thank you very much to Barra for doing that, and also to Lias. I hope I pronounced that right. Our Scarborough Athletic fan. Make sure you follow him on Twitter as well. Always good with an opinion or two. So, big game on Saturday. Scunthorpe versus Scarborough. Scarbados. What are your thoughts, Gareth? How do you see the game being decided?
By us scoring more goals than them. I just hope that we don't play to them and that we play our game. Because for me, when we were at Scarborough, we got Evans in. We just seem to be playing because they've got Bennett up top. We get as much height in as possible, and it didn't work. It wasn't great. So I'm hoping that we concentrate on us. Obviously, you've got to look at the opposition. But let's not change our game and the way we play. I think if we can get it on the floor, play it along the floor, as we know we can do. We often, when that happens, we tear teams apart. Just with the pace, the movement, and stuff like that, and the passing. So I'm hoping that that's what happens again on Saturday, and we don't look at them and think, "Oh, we best put that player there and have a tall central defensive midfielder," and let's play to our strengths and take it from there. But on paper, as always, should win, but the game's not played on paper, and they'll have I'd assume, a decent following, so they'll be getting behind their players. So yeah, it should be a good atmosphere. It should be a good game, and hopefully we come out with the 3 points.
Yeah, definitely. And when you said the game isn't played on paper, in some parts of the Gonford Park pitch, I'm not sure it's played on grass either, unfortunately. But Gareth there talked very well about what we got wrong against Scarborough away in that game earlier this season. So I could chuck that question out the window. He's already answered it. But obviously in that game, Becky, we didn't have Danny Whitehall. We were playing 3-5-2 with Roberts and Beeston up front. I seem to remember, which I think most Iron fans would admit didn't really work. How can we approach this game without Danny Whitehall? Will we miss him? How would you set up in his absence to try and, as Gareth said, play to our strengths and not Scarborough's?
I think we'll miss him massively. I've always said he's a shit house. I've always said when he's not been played that, if Danny Whitehall was on here now, then we would get... He's a game changer. And like I said previously, he's a game changer, and that's exactly what we need. Most of the time, he's an absolute delight to watch. I mean, he's a shit house. He winds people up. It's great. We laugh about it, but then if we was against him, we would absolutely hate it. So it is a massive shame. I'm just hoping it's not a big injury and that he comes back soon, because we will miss the energy he brings. I'm not sure how Butler's going to set up, really. Like I said, like Gareth said, I do hope that we do set up and we stand by the sword on our formation, that we don't change to suit other people, that we do actually say, "Oh, we like this formation, we're going to stick to it." And then if something needs to change it in the game. If we need to slow the tempo down, bring someone else on. But I'm not 100% sure, to be fair.
Yeah, and Joe, just to be clear, Iron fans as well, it was confirmed by Butler in a BBC Radio Humberside interview earlier this week, where referring to Danny Whitehall obviously going off injured against Curzon National on Tuesday night, he said, and I quote, "He won't be involved this weekend," which I don't think will come as a massive surprise to Iron fans, particularly given how many games we've played recently, Saturday, Tuesday, but also the fact that he went off injured. Butler then went on to say, again, and I quote, "Too early to know if it is a little bit more serious or a couple of weeks."
That's scary.
Yeah, no,
those words are a bit scary.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to say, Gareth. Even a couple of weeks, we could really miss him.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What will we look like without Danny Whitehall?
It's hard to say, isn't it? Because we've got players that are capable of going up there. Maybe not doing what he does, not that throwing himself around and trying to get people booked and in the referees' ear and stuff. Don't think we've got those type of players, but I think we've got players that could fill that void, and that's not necessarily just Beck. We've got Beeston that could go up there. So we've got there's Fishburne out on loan. There's who else have we got? I'm trying to think. Is Carlton injured? I can't remember, or is he?
Gareth, if you haven't got the inside track on what's going on,
I don't think he's injured. No, I don't think he's injured.
Carlton could go up there as well. We've got options. But what was the original question? Oh no, about Whitehall, wasn't it? About Whitehall missing. No, it's going to be a big miss, and you just hope that it's not too long, because he's the type of player that you'd need for the Kidderminster games, for the Chester games. That are, obviously they're a month away, but you'd like to see him back before then on the pitch, just getting some match fitness as well. So hopefully it's nothing too serious, but who knows?
We can't be losing points now. This is the point.
No.
We can't be conceding sloppy goals because we're not creating any chances and not scoring enough. This is such an important time. It might make the difference between automatic promotion or playoffs. Obviously, we hope to be in one. We hope to be in the automatics, but it might be the difference. And I do believe Danny is a difference. He's a huge difference, and he's a huge miss. Whenever he's not been on, he's a huge miss. Because you say, how many times do you turn around and say, "Oh, this is great. Danny would have had this. There's nothing being played in the middle, maybe," and that's the point. So I think he is a huge miss.
How long was he absent for last time with his injury? Can you remember?
About 3 weeks, I seem to remember.
Was that his knee as well?
Yeah.
If I remember, yeah. So I think he's done his knee again, hasn't he?
Yes.
So he's been out once with a knee injury. So hopefully it's nothing too serious that happened last time.
I mean, the pitch doesn't help. Let's be real. Realistically, that pitch is.
Say it was a tackle it went in for, wasn't it? It went in for like 50-50, really. Yeah. And that's what the injury came from. But, so I don't know if it was the pitcher's fault this time around, but I know what you're saying.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And I just want to say well done to Gareth there, obviously, in terms of the original question. Managed to talk for a good 2 or 3 minutes whilst forgetting the question. That's a skill politicians can learn, I think. Excellent. Very, very good analysis there, I think, from you both. Just a couple of other snippets from Butler's interview. He says, "I think Boyce only has 9 yellows. We need to check, but we don't think it's 10. I know that whisper was doing the rounds on the Dre on Tuesday night, so let's hope that Butler checks and we'll see whether or not he's in the squad for Saturday." He also said there was the potential for 1 or 2 players to potentially come in if they could be the right players or a deal could be done. In his interview, we also added 1 player to go out, which we now know has since been seen to be Nicholson. And he also said, quote, "A couple of loans extended with the recall down to 24 hours. The Rose extension could happen, but they need to speak to Peter about how long for. But they're theoretically, at this moment in time, potentially happy to extend. And so should Mo at York. So hopefully some good news on that side of front. But look, 24 hours could be a very, very long time in football. We'll see. We'll see what happens between now and then. But looking forward to Saturday. Becky.
Yes.
Let's have a score prediction, and let's make sure that, because they talked about it in the Spider Cam, that you don't do something so stupid as what Marco did. So none of this. We're going to run through them. No bulletin board material that's going to bite us in the arse. Sensible, somber score prediction, please, Becky.
Okay, 4-1.
Who to?
To us. I've literally got 4-1 written down. I'm sorry, I'm doing a Marco.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to run rings around him or anything like that. I think we do a few good goals. I really do.
So we've just spent the last 5 or 6 minutes talking about how we're really going to miss Whitehall, about how when he was out before, including against Scarborough, we really missed him. And then you've gone, nah, screw it, we're going to score 4.
But I'm rubbish at this. So
Oh, okay.
I initially thought 2-1, but then I always go 2-1. So I thought let's be a bit flamboyant. Let's go 4-1.
Right. Speaking of flamboyant, Gareth, what's your score prediction?
3-1.
Who to?
Scunthorpe.
Okay, just checking. Just checking.
Yeah, no. Yeah, 3-1, even though we just spoke about Whitehall again and missing him. I've also gone for a lot of goals.
And a penalty.
Yeah.
I will go for the reverse. I genuinely think I could I could see Scarborough coming and setting up for a point, and B, I do think Whitehall's a miss. It wouldn't surprise me if it was 0-0, to be honest. I know I said that against Curzon and I was wrong, but look, it's hard. It's hard.
So negative.
Lias, our Scarborough fan, he predicted a 2-2 draw, and Barra predicted a 2-1 win. So between the 5 of us, 5 very different score predictions. So no doubt, all of us will be wrong. Very, very much looking forward to that, and we'll I'm sure we'll remind all of us on our next podcast as to who was right and to who was wrong and who was massively wrong. Right. Speaking of being right, speaking of being wrong, let's get to our hero, idiot, and moment of the week. What we've all been waiting for. Gareth, who's your hero of the week?
Hero? You're all going to moan at me for this. As always, Becky definitely will. Everyone for the birthday wishes and just the offers of drinks, and Joe for getting me a cake and a hat and novelty glasses. Dave for getting a signed football for me. Just, it was just unexpected, appreciated. So thank you to all you heroes.
Can we reel that off at the end of the podcast, all the thanks? I lost count after about 2.
It's going to be.
I'll have credits.
Yeah. You're not like the film credits where there's like 15 different assistant sound technicians. Yes. I like the idea that Gareth's actually just straight away put that signed football up on eBay, see if he can make 20 quid.
I'm waiting until we get promoted.
Oh yes, now we're talking. So Becky,
yes.
Gareth's hero of the week. Obviously, there was everyone who wished him happy birthday because he's 49. I want to say.
Oh, Matt.
49.
He's A, looking good for 49, and B, I look forward to saying the same next year when he said, "Oh, Gareth, 49 again." So, Becky,
yes.
follow that. Who's your hero of the week?
So, Gareth won't know because he doesn't do TikTok and stuff, but my hero is something called Box Wave and Jacob's Journey. So this little boy, he gets bullied massively at school, and he's gone to this Box Wave. They do like fitness things, and he's gone, I really want to change. I'm determined to change. I'm being bullied, blah blah blah. And so they've gone out their way to help him run, to build his confidence up. And so they are my heroes, and I look at them every day, and this little boy is out there in rain or shine, running, getting his confidence up, and he is my hero of the week.
So basically, you're giving me a kid who's being bullied at school and people making birthday cakes and novelty hats. Jesus Christ. Bring back Barra. This choosing lark's overrated. Because Gareth is 49, and obviously I've already taken the mickey out of him for in advance of next year, still being 49 in 2026. We'll give Gareth a point. Everybody wished him a happy birthday. Joe for bringing the cake. Massive shout out to Joe. Very, very good Iron fan and friend
Your
of the
mum
podcast.
for birthing you. Are we going that deep? I don't know.
The cake was shared out as well. It was open to anybody that wanted a piece.
Only your favourite people? Or?
No, I put it on a table and I just said, help yourself to cake to people who were on the table that I didn't know. People walking by, you want some cake,
And they thought you was a weirdo.
Well,
was the cake nice? What kind of cake was it?
It was just a cake from Tesco that said "Happy Birthday" on it. It cut it up as well.
Oh,
squares. And it tasted all right. Yeah, it filled
excellent. Very, very good. I hope it was delicious.
It was. Thank you.
Right, Becky.
Yes.
Who's your idiot of the week?
Well, it's got to be Jack Evans, hasn't it? It's got to be that T-shirt there. Come on, I got a message saying Jack's over the wall, and I'm thinking, what the hell? And there was just a picture, and he was giving it large when we scored a goal, which we know Jack does well. He's fractured my hand doing it. while celebrating. So this is no shock, but seeing him head over heels for something else apart from me, I guess that's my idiot of the week.
Go on, then, Gareth. Let's have another display. Let's see the t-shirt.
Oh, sorry. There we
go. There we go.
I think
Excellent.
the picture is on media somewhere. So,
and I believe that was celebrating our first goal or second goal against Warrington.
It was. Yeah. It was.
Excellent. Big shout out to Jack, big friend of the podcast. Regular goal scorer in a couple of our podcast games.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with celebrating a Scunthorpe win, or even a Scunthorpe goal. So, Gareth, given that you're wearing Becky's Idiot of the Week, who's your Idiot of the Week?
Well, it's not Jack. My Idiot of the Week is Curzon Ashton's number 22.
Oh, okay.
Adam Barton. Now, as the game finished, a few words were exchanged in the tunnel.
A few.
Pardon?
A few.
A few. They didn't make the vlog. But he came and said to me, mate, you can't be celebrating that. You can't be celebrating drawing with us. We're part-time, you're full-time. And we've been at work today. And I've just watched them waste probably 20 minutes of the game with the throw-ins, the goal kicks, whatever else. And we've scored in the 92nd, 93rd minute. Of course I'm going to celebrate. I've just seen your time waste. And for us to get something out of it. And if the referee had any balls about him and had the 10 minutes on at the end for all the time wasting, then I believe we would have gone on to win that. Genuinely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's my Idiot of the Week. Of course I'm going to celebrate. I don't care if you're full-time, part-time, pub league, whatever. We've scored in the 92nd, 93rd. I'm celebrating, mate. Get over it.
Excellent. Now, I'm sorry, Becky. I can't give it to you. Jack's too good of a friend of the podcast for us to start giving him down as the Idiot of the Week. So, Gareth,
how much are they paying you, Max? Bring Barra back.
I'm available for bribes in chocolates. I don't know if you can see them, or biscuits, all the big stuff.
I do want to set a petition up though, Gareth. Actually, talking about it at the end of the season, I think you should do the offcuts of the vlog and the pod that can make it, obviously, because I think it'll be hilarious. Just the random bits.
I don't know. Some of those might end careers.
I'm going to say the random bits are normally in the vlog. But yeah, we'll see what happens. If one of them will definitely be going in that I weren't allowed to share at the end of the season.
Excellent. Yeah. I look forward. Yeah. I very much look forward to that. So yeah, I'm afraid it's Tuesday. Our Idiot of the Week this week is Curzon Ashton's number 22, Adam Barton. So,
but the thing is, I was giving abuse to their number 2. No, when he came down the tunnel, because he's the one that I think fans wanted a penalty or whatever when he knocked Roberts over.
Yeah.
And then he got in his face and started laughing at him and what have you, whatever he was saying. And so I was giving him some abuse, and then this Adam Barton came up to me and said, "You can't be celebrating." I said, "Mate, I weren't celebrating. I was calling him a whatever."
And you was calling him a nasty pasty, wasn't we?
Yes, I was.
None of this wee stuff. It was Gareth all on his own.
It was me. Yeah, it was me. And then not only Adam Barton, I had Hayhurst, their number 11, I think it was, saying stuff to me. He got told what to do and all. And then their assistant manager said, mate, they're up at 6 in the morning for work.
How is that your problem?
Exactly. So anyway, yeah. So it weren't just
sounds
him
like
on his
you're
own.
not a people princess anymore.
There was a few of them.
He is everywhere except Curzon Ashton. Who knew? Gareth Hardman Holden. All these years, I've been waiting for that. Anyway, yeah, 2-0. So we'll crown things off with our moment of the week. Becky, what was your moment of the week?
My moment has to be Plymouth Argyle.
Beating Liverpool.
Yes, I have a little soft spot for Plymouth. As you know, Max, we've had some fonder memories at Plymouth Argyle at home park. So seeing them win and seeing Liverpool lose, it was like a little topping on a birthday cake. It was wonderful.
Right, speaking of birthday cake, Gareth, what was your moment of the week?
My moment of the week's also Liverpool related, but it's James Tarkowski's last minute
It was great.
equaliser and just the pandemonium that followed. And then I've seen on like socials people moaning about how the fans reacted and what have you. You're going to react like that. Your last game, last derby at Goodison Park, a last minute equaliser. Of course, you're going to react like that. So fair play to everybody. It just reminded me of the reaction, like I said earlier, about Scales, Clunan, and Kelly jumping off the bench and getting on the pitch and fist pumping. It's a last minute equaliser again. That maybe had a bit more meaning, with the status of the game and stuff. But yeah, that was my moment of the week for definite.
I can't believe I'm about to do this, but Gareth, you've got the point. That's been I know, but Becky, it just has been the best moment this week. Honestly,
someone scoring a goal compared to Plymouth Argyle beating Liverpool. Plymouth Argyle doing it for the EFL. They're the underdog. David V. It feels like
Max,
Max v. Becky now.
I totally accept all of that. However, crucially, that didn't have a pitch invasion. It didn't have 3 red cards after extra time. It didn't have a brawl.
Okay, I guess so.
Have you seen that Stewart celebration as well?
Oh yeah,
in front of the Liverpool fans. I loved that. Loved it.
Yeah, and look, it was, there's a lot that's changed in the Premier League over the last sort of 20 to 30 years, let's say. That game felt like a proper throwback. As a genuine neutral, I don't have a Premier League team. It was such great viewing, like proper carnage. Just, it mattered because it was their city, and it mattered because it was the last time they were going to be able to do that. And we've seen a lot of other big clubs, your West Hams, your Arsenals, move to very big, very shiny stadiums. And I get why Everton are doing it, but yeah, they deserve to go out with a bang. And the fact that it was a controversial goal, and then just a brawl. Honestly, just magic. Absolutely perfect. Gareth, great moment of the week. It's 3-0. Becky, I'm really sorry. But it goes to show it's not a fix, at least when I'm not hosting the podcast.
I paid Barra. I don't. What do you like? I have to pay you somehow.
Get your money back off Barra. That'd be my advice. But that's it. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. Thank you again to our podcast sponsors, Best Banks Wholesale, particularly for producing that fabulous T-shirt, which Gareth has been modelling. Scunny away, ole, ole. And he's hoping for 3 points against the mighty Scarborough on Saturday. Up the iron.